So in breaking news, like literal news about something breaking, Mark Andrews was on the Pat McAfee show, and he confirmed that it was actually Derrick Henry, unintentionally of course, that broke Charlie Kolar's arm because he just ran into him. And that's really, when you think about it, it's not a surprise because there have been players that have tackled Derrick Henry this season and they've had to leave the game. Right after they tried to tackle Derrick Henry, or they actually made a successful tackle on Derrick Henry, they've had to head to the sidelines and they will be done for the game due to an injury. That man is just, he's a monster. But in other breaking news, y'all know sort of little cousins up the road, the LA Ravens or the Baltimore Chargers, whatever you want to call them. Because they got so many of our former guys already on the team, today they decided to add another one. Because not only did the Chargers release former Ravens running back John Kelly from their practice squad, but they released him to clear way for another former Baltimore Raven from this year, Eddie Jackson. So Eddie Jackson, he was without a home for a couple of weeks, but now he has a new squad and he is over there in LA where all the old Ravens go. So congrats to Eddie Jackson on signing with a new team. But I know y'all ain't come here for that. Y'all came here for our guy Diontae Johnson. Former Baltimore Raven Diontae Johnson will be going against his former team, well, one of his three former teams, because he's a former Steeler, he's a former Panther, but more importantly and more recently, he's a former Baltimore Raven, and he'll have the chance possibly to go against them this Wednesday because the Houston Texans, they claim Diontae Johnson. Ooh, shout out to them Texans, man. Team Keep It Clean. We're going to talk about that and a lot more. Before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and leave a like on the video because it helps out the channel a ton. So, the Texans, they claimed wide receiver Diontae Johnson. I know Adam Schefter with a report a couple of days ago. He said the Chiefs could possibly claim him. The Chargers, who are looking for wide receiver help, they could have possibly claimed him. But it was the Houston Texans who are a lot higher on the waiver wire than both of those teams. So, they got him. But then you got to think, like, it makes sense because obviously a couple of months ago, they lost Stephon Diggs for the season. And that was a big blow because he was a big acquisition for them. But then couple of days ago, they lost Tank Dell for the season. They said he got a dislocated knee, think an ACL, PCL. He got a bunch of stuff going on, and that sucks. That's a big blow because he's really good too. But that's a really, really big blow for them because not only does it impact the rest of the season for them and him this year because he's missing it, but now, especially with it being so late in the season, it's definitely going to impact his availability for next season too. So, yeah, this move, like when we look at it as Ravens fans, like, oh, them Texans, they petty and stuff. Oh, why would they do that? But when you look at it from their point of view, it's like, no, they needed a receiver, and they needed a receiver ASAP. Now, I do wonder because they put in a claim for him on Monday today, so they got him on the waiver wire. So he'll join the team either later tonight or sometime tomorrow. I can't expect him to really do anything for the Texans this week in this game on the field. The only thing that he could possibly maybe do, share some information on Baltimore Ravens playbook, but at the same time, he was suspended for a week. Then they had him and the Ravens had where they mutually agreed for him to be away from the team for another week. So how much information does he really have on the Ravens playbook? Obviously, he has some, and he'll have some recollection of some stuff that was in there that he could share with the Houston Texans, but it was really, I don't think it will be or should be anything too concerning. But Diontae Johnson, hey, Texans, you better hope that he even gets in the game for y'all in the first place. So we'll see what happens with that. But Texans, they weren't the only team that claimed a receiver from the team that they're going up against in 2 days. Because the Baltimore Ravens did the same thing too. The Texans, they claimed Diontae Johnson, former Baltimore Raven, but the Ravens, they claimed Steven Sims, former Texans wide receiver. Now on the flip side, with the Baltimore Ravens claiming Steven Sims, what type of impact could he possibly make for the Baltimore Ravens? Well, as a wide receiver, I think the impact will be minimal. Reason being because the Baltimore Ravens, they have Zay Flowers, and he didn't practice today or yesterday, but Harbaugh did say he still anticipates him playing. They have Rashad Bateman. They have Nelson Aguilar, who hasn't been practicing. He's still dealing with the concussion, so I wouldn't anticipate him playing. They have Tylan Wallace, Tez Walker. But when you just think about the passing game as a whole, they also have a Mark Andrews. They also have an Isaiah Likely. So as far as their passing game, they have their guys and they're in place and they're pretty much set with that. Now, where Steven Sims could potentially impact for the Baltimore Ravens would be on special teams, because for the Houston Texans, he is a punt returner. Now, Harbaugh, surprisingly, he did say that he was asked about Desmond King today. It's like, oh, what's the status with Desmond King? What's going on with him? And Harbaugh did say, oh, no, Desmond King, he's still going to be back there for us on punt returns. And I was like, whoa, Harbaugh gave a public declaration of support for Desmond King. After that, Harbaugh, where did this come from? This is not the Harbaugh that I know, because if somebody out there, they fumbling the ball, especially on special teams, usually Harbaugh is like, nah, you're out of here, my friend. But with Desmond King, if Harbaugh does stick with him, then he will be on an extremely short leash, especially with Steven Sims now on the roster and him having that experience at punt return. Now, I wouldn't expect him to be the Baltimore Ravens punt returner on Wednesday against the Texans. I think that's unrealistic. But moving forward, depending on how the Ravens want to, especially because after the Texans game, they'll have a long break before they end up playing the Cleveland Browns. So they'll have a good amount of time in between both of those games. So that would allow Steven Sims some time to really get implemented into the Baltimore Ravens special teams, just in case things don't look so good with Desmond King. But what I'm hoping for is that with Desmond King, he got some extra motivation in this game, because he is going against one of his former teams in the Houston Texans. So maybe he just might be like, you know what? Y'all ain't want to keep me around. You know what? Y'all ain't want to re-sign me. You know what? I'm going to show you something. But don't press too much, because you've been pressing that ball out of your hands and you've been fumbling, and we don't need no more of that. I did not think that I would be saying this 2 times in one day, but it's all good. I got love for y'all. We are now at my favorite part of these videos, where we get to feature your questions. If you would like to take part in it, y'all already know how. You can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. For the Team Keep It Clean patrons, you can send it directly on Patreon. And if you'd like to join it, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Or if you want to send it in another way, you can send it directly to our P.O. Box. The address is down below in the description. And so are so many other ways to support the channel. I appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. Let's get into these questions. First one came from my guy NJ. He say, Ravens flock from Italy. Appreciate you, my friend. He said, hey, man, love you from Italy. Hey, we love you too, man. I want to thank you for everything you do. I'll be honest, I didn't know NFL even existed before 2019, but since I started watching, I always loved Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Sometimes staying up till 5 a.m. on school nights to watch the Sunday Night Football and Thursday Night Football Ravens games. But let's get to the question. Oh, that's real right there. That is real right there. That's some real dedication to staying up that early in the morning to watch them Baltimore. Oh, that's love right there. He said, do you think Monken will stay with us next year, or will he leave for a head coaching job? Obviously, winning a Super Bowl could change his mind, but if we don't win it, even Harbaugh's seat isn't secured at all. So do you think this is a now or never situation for the Baltimore Ravens? Once again, love the videos and keep it up. I appreciate you, NJ. Thank you for even watching them. As far as Monken, I think that he'll have an opportunity to be a head coach. I keep seeing, whenever we would talk about that, people will be like, oh, do you not realize Todd Monken, how he blunders some games, how sometimes he forgets about Derrick Henry, sometimes he gets too cute. Yeah, it happens. But what these teams will be looking at, they're looking for the overall experience. How has he changed this team, and has he made a positive or negative impact overall on the Baltimore Ravens? And anybody with a pair of eyes and with, you ain't even got to have no crazy knowledge about no football, but you can see that he's made a very big positive impact on this offense for sure. And he's just allowed this offense to just really, really grow. He's allowed Lamar Jackson to really, really take some huge steps forward, especially when you compare it to the previous offense with Greg Roman that had reached its cap, that had it reached its limit, and there was no more growing from that. So Todd Monken he's been great for the Baltimore Ravens, man. We love Todd Monken, and we love the impact that he had on his team and his offense, because he's taking it to new heights, and he still ain't done yet. But I do really think that he could have an opportunity to leave if he wants to. That would be the big question right there. Does he want to? Does he want to be a head coach? Some people do, some people don't. So that would really, really be up to him. Now, you also said that winning a Super Bowl could change his mind. Now, Which way though? Winning the Super Bowl, Ravens win the Super Bowl. Todd Monken can be like, oh, you know what? I want to stay. I want to run it back another year. Or Todd Monken can be like, oh, we got the Super Bowl. All right, y'all good now. Y'all go find somebody else. Now I'm out. So it could go either way. But he said that if we don't, even Harbaugh's seat isn't secured at all. See, that one, I disagree. I agree but disagree. If the Ravens for some reason didn't win the Super Bowl this year, they will. But if for some reason they didn't, then yeah, Harbaugh's seat would need to not be secure at all. But it still will be, regardless of what happens. It's rival week at my school. Next question came from my guy Jeremiah. He said, hey, Ingraven, hope you and the family are doing well. Besides the point, this isn't much of a question as it is a statement, but it's rival week at my school, so things get wild around here when it comes to Ravens versus Steelers because we have had 2 NFL players graduate from our school. One is a Steeler, Heath Miller. Oh, I remember Heath Miller, the tight end from the Steelers. Oh, yeah, he was annoying. He was really good. He was really, really annoying, especially as a Ravens fan because he used to just make play after play after play. Can't say that guy. Anyway, and he said, and the other is a Raven, Jordan Stout. Oh, yeah, you did tell us about Jordan Stout. That's cool. You done had 2 NFL players graduate from the school. That's cool, man. He said, but you know I'll be repping the Ravens every time. Sorry for that being so long, but just like the Steelers losing in the playoffs, I'm out. Next question came from my guy Jamin, who is a Team Keep It Clean patron, so I appreciate you, my friend. He said, hello, Ingraven. I hope all is well with you on your end, bro. Oh, yeah, everything is really good. Really busy, but really good. He said, my question is, do you think the playoff seeding really matters? No, just get in. That's it. Now, it does matter because, I mean, you won as many home games as you could possibly get, but regardless, you still got to play against whatever team and wherever the location is. So, yes, it matters. No, it doesn't matter, but, I mean, it is what it is. He said, I think you have to beat whoever is in front of you. That's true. Second question is, what are the chances for OBJ or Calais Campbell reunion, and who would you prefer? If I had to pick out of 2, I would prefer Calais Campbell. I feel like he would just be able to bring a lot more to the Baltimore Ravens than an Odell Beckham Jr. could right now at this point. Are we there yet? Next question came from my guy Javon. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Hope all is well with you and the family. It feels good to have clinched another playoff berth thanks to our amazing Baltimore Ravens. It certainly does, my friend. My question to you is, with our defense playing way better, Tucker consistently making kicks finally, and the offense getting back in their groove, have we seen their best football? No, because there was still that miscommunication with Lamar Jackson and Rashad Bateman that resulted in an interception. There was the defense. They were giving up some plays that they probably should not have given up. There was some missed sacks. The pass rush could be a little bit better. They weren't bad against the Steelers, but they could be better, especially when it comes to closing. Now, I know Russell Wilson, he's annoying because he ain't like fast, but he fast enough to get on up out of there. So, yeah, so they are not playing their best football, but they're getting to it, and it seems like they're getting to it. So we'll see on Wednesday against them Houston Texans. He said, thanks in advance, my brother. Peace and love. Next question came from my guy Jarvo. He said, watching the facility and everyone got Josh Allen winning MVP except for James Jones. Lamar has better stats and on pace to beat the passer rating record, whereas Josh only has the better record. Funny how they are penalizing Lamar Jackson for having weapons and praising Zay Flowers and Bateman, where this is Zay Flowers' second year and we had Bate for 4 or 5 years now, and the media is treating them like they are Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. They saying Lamar Jackson couldn't put up these numbers if he had Josh Roster. LOL. Lamar Jackson had worse and still put up MVP numbers. Don't you need weapons to win a Super Bowl? It's sad that the media hates Lamar Jackson so much because of his skin color. They praise Josh and Justin Herbert, who hasn't done anything in this league compared to Lamar Jackson. They praise Joe Burrow for his 1 Super Bowl appearance, which was 3 years ago, but yet none of the QBs can beat Lamar Jackson. Sorry for this rant, but I had to let out the frustration with the way they bash our quarterback. Team, keep it clean. Let's get this Super Bowl MVP. Yeah, it's tricky. It's funny because I was listening to Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco on Nightcap. I was listening a little bit earlier today, and they were making a point about that they said they judged Lamar Jackson differently because he has the 2 MVPs. And I was thinking, okay, that could make sense. They were like, they judge him differently from a Joe Burrow, from a Justin Herbert, from a Josh Allen, because they don't have 2 MVPs. And they were talking about how no quarterback that has 2 MVPs has not won a Super Bowl. So every quarterback that has at least 2 MVPs, they all got a Super Bowl. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, Lamar about to get his this year, so that's cool. But then somebody made a really good point. They were like, hold up. If you're judging, and they put in the comment section of that video, they were like, if you're judging Lamar differently because he has the 2 MVPs, then why do you always rank him lower than a lot of those other quarterbacks, especially when they don't have the 2 MVPs? And I was okay now. Here we go, baby. So anyway, I just thought that was a very interesting point that somebody made. Anyway, to Jarvo's other question, he said, I'm glad that Keaton is finally getting his opportunity to truly shine, but one thing is, Justice Hill game that will be missed is his blocking ability. Yeah, his blocking ability. That's true. Very, very good point. So who's going to fulfill that role? Well, Keaton Mitchell, bulked up a little bit. Get ready to block some people. Are you going to use Derrick Henry? But then there's Rasheen Ali. He said, how do you think Todd will adjust? Because Keaton is too small to block the way that Hill blocks. Is he? I don't know, my friend. But I think the quick passing game could be smart. Patrick Ricard, he's always an option, but I think Rasheen Ali, he will be somebody that the Baltimore Ravens will consider as an additional blocker. Next question came from my guy Ravens Friday. He said, what's up, Ingraven? I know you might not be seeing me on live stream, but I'm actually there. Oh no, it's all good, my friend. I appreciate you. He said, for some reason it shows me as my real name. I want you to know this because I wanted you to know I'm supporting you and always possible because you make myself and other Flock Nation fans with all Ravens news and so on. Now I appreciate you, my friend. He said, well, my holy moly to you is what I've been waiting so long to get for Marlon to get the pick 6 against the Steelers. And I will say this, the defense is getting to compliment the offense when they make mistakes. Yeah, I love that. That's such a great point. He said, take care, my brother, and I'll see you live stream against the Texans. Love you, bro, and love Team Keep It Clean. P.S. I like the fact that you remind people that we, as Team Keep It Clean, are family. And that's when we're live, and that's just what it means. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. Big W's. Next question came from my guy, Jay Fire. He said, hey, Ingraven, hope you and the family are thriving right now. Oh, I like that one. He said, hope you're thriving. I love that. I appreciate that, man. He said, how you feeling after that big win against the Steelers? Oh, that was lovely, man. That game was just amazing. Let's get another one in a couple of days. He said, I think this might have been the biggest win of the season for us. Well, kind of, sort of. Because of the timing, yeah. But there were some other really, really big games early this season. But anyway, he said, I can't remember the last time we had a meaningful win against the Steelers, and I talked some trash to my Steelers friends. That part is accurate. That's true in every single sort of way. He said, but here are my questions. How do you feel about Diontae potentially signing with the Chiefs or another contending team? Well, boom, there we go. There we go. He sent this actually on December 21st. So he sent this a couple days ago. So yeah, timing, man. He said, do you think the Ravens made a mistake in letting him go? I don't think they made a mistake. I was actually proud of them because they put ego aside. They actually put a potential draft pick aside, because somebody could sign him for like a vet minimum or something like that in the offseason and been like, oh, no, we ain't spending all that money. Then Ravens will get nothing. But the Ravens actually were like, nope, well, okay, bye. We're just going to cut our losses, keep it moving. So I respected them for that. He said, last question is, how do you feel we stack up against the top teams in the league? Just fine. Just fine. Not scared of nobody. Not worried about nobody. Ravens could take on whoever, whenever, wherever. So he said specifically the Bills and the Chiefs in the AFC and the Lions and the Eagles in the NFC. Do you think we have what it takes this year to beat them when it counts? Yes, for sure. I can't sit up here and be saying Ravens are getting ready to win the Super Bowl if I didn't. So yeah, the Ravens are about to bring that fire, just like your name. And he said, thanks again for all you do for Ravens Nation. You are MVP. And just like the Steelers are from the Ravens, psych, I'm out. Yes, we finally made it out of there, baby. Yeah. The Ravens finally beat their weakness. Next question came from my guy, Jared. He said, what's going on, Uncle? Hope you doing well and enjoying this dub. You said that we will win, and I believe that we will win, but not by this much. Shout out to Lamar SB MVP Jackson. He played wonderful outside of the miscommunication interception. Derrick Henry running over and stiff arm, and everyone made me put a smile on my face. Zay Flowers, congrats on reaching 1K. Receiving yards since Hollywood Brown. Oh, that's the last one? Ooh, I ain't realized that I think you are right, my friend. Yeah, because they had I think he had 800 something last year, maybe 900, but he had high 800. Yeah, oh, wow. Anyway, he said Rashad Bateman played great. Yeah, Mark Andrews still playing great. Yeah, Justin Tucker has not missed an extra point or field goal since the bye week. Hey, hopefully, and he said hopefully it stays that way. And shout out to the Ravens defense, but for sure, Darius Washington causing that fumble on Russell Wilson in the second quarter. Super duper Kyle was everywhere on the field, as usual. He always is. And Marlowe for catching that pick 6 to the house. Yeah, that was beautiful. That was amazing, man. He said Ravens clutching a playoff spot makes me happy. Hopefully we beat the Texans on Christmas Day and the Browns, while Steelers lose to the Chiefs and Bengals. Anyway, thanks for reading this, and I hope you have a safe and lovely day. Hey, I hope you have a lovely day too. I appreciate that. God bless you, Uncle. And the Ravens going all the way. Peace out like the Steelers versus us that day. Oh, yeah. Next question came from my guy, Keontae. He said, I think we need to sit Bateman against the Texans and give Tez, Nelly, and Wallace some time to play. Not Wallace. Nelly, he might not even play. It ain't looking good for him right now. But I say, if Bateman is healthy, let him play. Let him play. If he's injured, then I get it. But if he's healthy, let him play. They said he got his ankle rolled up on. I think in last week's practice, that's why he had that walking boot on. But Bateman has also been dealing with some knee stuff because he talked about he been getting treatments on it. So, hey, but if he's healthy, then I say play him, man. He said, I'm sure it's because he's dealing with something I felt he couldn't really plan. Oh, so when you talking about from the film that you was watching, okay. Oh, that's different. He said, I felt like he was not, he was trying to keep himself out of harm's way, not blocking for Zay Flowers and not really trying to make guys miss. Okay, that would be something to watch out for. Well, hopefully he's good to go now then. He said, but Marlon Humphrey, man, I want to apologize for calling him out at the beginning of the season. This is my guy, and I have super high expectations for him because I know the guy he is. But, man, I might need to buy a new Marlon Humphrey jersey because that guy is balling. He sure is. He really, really is. Lamar Jackson talked about him today, just talked about how he's just changed as a person, as a player, and just gotten better, man. And then he talked about, too, how at the beginning of the season, Marlon Humphrey was on IG Live after they beat the Bills, and Lamar was like, get that camera out my face. He said, we still got plenty of work to do because they were 1-2 at that time. He said Marlon, he said he was dropping picks and stuff, and he called him out for it, but ever since then, Marlon been catching everything thrown his way. Well, minus against the Giants last week, but besides that, he been catching like everything thrown his way. So Marlon Humphrey, he been balling. Next question came from my guy Mark JG. He said, what's up, Ingraven? What's up, Mark? He said, hope you and yours are doing awesome. I know we have made changes to the roster, and some were surprising while others weren't. Here are 2 players who I believe can make a huge impact starting and for the foreseeable future. He said, Isaiah Likely. They've always struggled to use Mark and Isaiah together on the field, but it's hard when you got all these weapons to go around. Plus, you got Derrick Henry in the backfield. Here's my solution. Let Mark Andrews stay tight end 1 and use Likely like a Kelsey. Make him wide receiver like. Jimmy Graham killed it with Breeze. Get Likely on simple routes and line him up anywhere. He's that big body, so let's use him as such. Okay. I can see that because Likely, he has shown that he can do that. And he used to play wide receiver too. He said, line him up in the slot, outside, wherever. He's fast enough to be a possession wide receiver. All he has to do is be able to run drag, slant, post, and corner routes. His route tree doesn't have to be huge, but big enough to be a distraction or a mismatch. See, I wouldn't mind them doing that, especially now. But still, next year, and I know we're talking about this year, but next year I would still say get that big body guy. Unless Tez Walker's going to be at 4, but we'll see. Anyway, he said he can climb that ladder so when Lamar sells it, he can come down with it. Oh, yeah, he really can. We done seen that. So that's a great point. He said Mark can make jump ball fade catch too. Let Likely cook. He said another person, Trent Simpson. I said this before and I'll say it again. Let Trent play outside linebacker. Let him play a Micah Parsons type of role because the dangerous thing about him is he can rush the passer and cover. So imagine him screaming off the edge and taking those running backs we all let loose. He can act as a contained man, being a pass rusher or sort of like a hybrid defensive back because he played safety at Clemson on all 3 levels. Oh, I didn't know that. So let's slowly unlock it because he can be a menace. Let him in the room with Dr. Rush. Yeah, that's going to be nice when they finally when he turns it on, they really get to him and they really bring out that potential on a consistent basis. And it's going to come with opportunity. Obviously, he's going to make some mistakes. It happens. Remember Kyle Hamilton when he first started starting? He was making some big-time mistakes, but now best safety in the world. But anyway, he said, I know his role has been diminished, but I think Simpsons will play free roaming on the outside of the field, rushing and covering. Having him and Kyle on the field will be so important. Ooh, just think about that possibility when Trent Simpson gets to that level. Some quick hits. He said, I think we need to calm down as fans with Keith Mitchell because I don't think he's there all the way because if he was, he'd be active. Well, I mean, you know now. Now he did send this on December 22nd, so yesterday. He said, you got to remember that he tore his ACL and he came back really fast, to be honest, ahead of schedule, which is awesome, but it's like you go to work, but you're sick, you still go. I don't feel the best, but I'm here. Give him some time. He might be your gift. Wrap a bow on that knee and let's get some explosive plays, but be sure he's 100%. Yeah, we're going to see in 2 days. He said, lastly, Ravens flock been hating on my guy Malik Harrison. That's one of the 3 Ravens I ever wanted, and they drafted him, the others being Torrey Smith and Deshaun Elliott. I missed the Joker. J.K. Dobbins type of situation, so I get it. Yeah, it was injuries. He just kept being hurt. He said, but y'all better not chase Malik Harrison out of Baltimore. That man's a thumper, and him and Roquan Smith in the middle could be your Timu, Ray Lewis, and Bart Scott with Trent Simpson at outside linebacker. Seriously, though, Malik just needs to be in the right situation. He is a good player. He covered Cordero Patterson well on that touchdown, but he made an impressive vet play. Cordero Patterson did. Don't hate the player, hate the scheme. That's real right there. Now, I was saying that the same thing about Malik Harrison on that play. He played it amazing. He was right there with Cordero Patterson. He started covering him when Cordero started coming out of the backfield, and he was stride for stride with him. Did not miss a step. He was not a step behind or anything like that. Put his hand up at the perfect time. Again, Cordero Patterson just made a crazy play. He said, sorry for the long one, Ingraven. I didn't want to keep sending emails because people need to get witness all you do and ask questions. I respect CJ Stroud and his faith, his prayers, and prayers for Tank and you guys. Be blessed. He said, I'm out like everyone's cash from buying Christmas gifts. Next question came from my guy James. He said, what's up, team? Keep it clean. The Ravens flock. As I said 3 times, we destroyed Pittsburgh. We are back in the playoffs. And who got it better than us? Nobody. Amazing win today, and I'm so happy we beat Pittsburgh, man. I love my Ravens. We balled out today, especially Derrick Henry, Lamar Bateman, Zay Flowers with 1,000 receiving yards, Mark Andrews, and my boy Marlo. This is the team, Ingraven, and I know it, man. Love this team forever, man, and let's go destroy Houston on Christmas, and let's go Ravens. Ooh, I'm looking forward to it, man. Next question also came from my guy Gerald. He said, "What's going on, Uncle? I hope that you and the family's having a good day and safe, lovely day. But I saw that Diontae Johnson got waived. This was the day that Diontae Johnson got waived. And to be honest, I'm not gonna crash out about it, but I will say that I'm upset because I wanted things to work out. Oh yeah, we all did, but unfortunately it didn't. Not everything works out, so it is what it is." He said, "And I felt like we did him dirty by not using him, so I don't understand what blame he has to get. He just wants to do his job and get paid. But like I said on my YouTube video about him, my cons with him is going back to dropping passes and him being a diva. Make sure to check it out. It's 685 subs, trying to reach 700. Sorry for making it somewhat of a promo, but I was right, sadly. And I saw you show love to other Ravens YouTubers as well, so my bad. But either way, hopefully we can bring in a guy like Slant Boy. Why you call him Slant Boy? I know you're talking about Michael Thomas, but man. Or OBJ. Well, they got Steven Sims, so there we go. He said, "Let's go Ravens. Beat the Steelers tomorrow." And hey, there you go. You got that too. He said, "But peace out and God bless, and thanks for reading my email, Unc, and have a good day. And go. Let's go Ravens all the way to win the Super Bowl." That's what I'm talking about. This question came from my guy Raven the Phantom 6. He said, "Dang, Raven, thank you for putting my very first question on the last video, and that just fires me up to ask more questions, so here comes another one." Now, he sent this on December 20th, so keep that in mind. He said, "Hopefully you and your family are doing well, and let's get this dub on Saturday against those Steelers." We got it, baby. He said, "So it looks like Diontae Johnson won't be staying with us any longer as the Ravens have waived him. Honestly, it's just so sad and stupid on his part, and it's already hard enough to have a career in the NFL, but to be part of a great organization that's a Super Bowl contender, it's just so sad to see how he wasted it just for whining instead of being a good teammate and getting the job done." I see what you're saying, but that's all we know. We don't know the whole story. We don't know what happened behind closed doors. We don't know what type of conversations they had. We don't know what type of promises he might have been made. We just don't know. So all we know is what had been put out there publicly. So I guess that's all we got to go off of. But anyway, he says, "So now with him gone, it leaves the question of how does our wide receiver room go from here?" Well, one option is to sign OBJ, which to be honest does not seem likely at all, but also to the fact that it is that he is not what he used to be. I agree. He said, "I feel like ever since he won that Super Bowl with the Rams, he started to lose his talent a bit every year. Not saying that he has great moments, but you know who else has great moments? Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Tylan Wallace, basically the rest of our very own wide receivers." Now, I think it's just the age and injuries. They just keep catching up with him more and more. I think that's it. But anyway, he said, "And that leaves us with option 2, which is to use our receivers to the fullest." And I'm speaking of course, of Tez Walker. Now, of course, we only saw him on one play, which was a nice medium pass route. But I feel like with just that one play, the Ravens can start unlocking his true potential. Maybe he can be a good deep threat receiver or a great dig and slant route receiver. We won't know until he gets used. But I think the biggest thing that no one in the league has seen him play at this level before, which means other teams don't know how to prepare for him just yet. And while the league plays catch up, Tez Walker is going to be getting more touchdowns. Well, I think with Tez Walker, we just really gotta slow our roll. I know that touchdown against the Giants was super exciting, but you see, this is what I was talking about before throughout the week, but ahead of the Steelers game, that we can't just expect him. All right, Tez Walker, you're gonna be wide receiver 3 from jump. No, we got to give it time. Just be patient with him, and I will look more forward to stuff maybe next year. I mean, hey, he can still get some catches this year and whatnot, but I will really be focused on next year with him. Now, hopefully, hey, if you want to surprise in the playoffs, go for it, no problem. But so we'll see. That's what I say. We'll see, man. He said also too, our team cap space is quite low, and if there's a player we would love to have once again, it would be Calais Campbell. Hopefully you, your whole family, and the whole team keep it clean is ready for game day. And just like Diontae Johnson, I'm out.